let's look at differences with evaluation and other types of assessments. Research is meant to generate knowledge on a specific area or topic. And when you look at audits and inspections, these are activities that are geared towards compliance and insurance purposes. So in a way, you could say that evaluation depends to some extent on the information that will come from monitoring and reviews from research, but also audit and inspection. Another difference is that evaluation is conducted at specific time points during the implementation of a program or project, usually at the beginning and the end, and sometimes also in the middle. Monitoring, however, tends to be an ongoing activity happening throughout the program or project implementation. Research tends to be ad hoc and based on gaps that have been identified in combination with the need to analyze the existing knowledge to address those gaps. And finally, audits and inspections tend to be quite ad hoc as well. Who is involved? An evaluation is an assessment that in most cases is impartial and is usually conducted by external consultants, with the participation of all stakeholders who have some interest in the evaluation. When it comes to monitoring, this is an internal activity that involves only the program or project implementers. Usually, evaluation focuses on outcomes and reaching an overall objective, such as the level of impact or the changes that happen as a result of a specific program or project. Monitoring, however, focuses mostly on the inputs, activities, outputs, and to some extent, some very short-term outcomes. Research tends to focus on very specific research questions and hypotheses, and audits and inspections look at inputs, activities, and outputs. So, to conclude, evaluation is a very distinct activity meant to identify the key lessons learned for decision-making, for planning, or for accountability reasons. It's key to remain impartial and is therefore usually conducted by externals that are not involved in the day-to-day implementation. Next up are the different terminologies that are used at different stages or phases of a program or project. The baseline assessment and the needs assessment are conducted before the implementation of an intervention to assess the status of a project before implementation to compare the before and after status. Without knowing the baseline situation at the beginning of a project, it's difficult to evaluate any changes at the end of the project. Formative evaluation is conducted during the implementation of a project. It's meant to provide information from managers and direct stakeholders to improve the implementation process. The real-time evaluation covers all the phases of the project and aims to provide feedback in real time and in a participatory way. This is key, for example, for those managing and executing humanitarian responses. Since this context can change very fast, it's important to be able to get information in the early stages of a project and in real time. The midterm evaluation is meant to gather evidence that will be used to improve the performance of a program or project. Questions asked are, for example, what are the key lessons and what are the gaps? How has the program or project been implemented compared to the original objectives, and what needs to be improved? And then we have what we call end line or summative evaluation. These are conducted at the end of an intervention to determine the extent to which intended results were achieved. They provide insights into how effective the intervention was in addressing the identified need. The final evaluation tends to be quite rigorous and precise to assess what was achieved by the project. Thanks for watching the second part of the series. In this next part, we will look more into why you should do evaluation, the 10 general norms for evaluation, and principles of good evaluation practice.